So I lost all of my cinematics level sequence additions that I made for my camera turn. So I just did it again offline. You don't have to watch me do it twice. I started doing it during the tutorial session, but that was not working very well. Um, so I just did it similar to the way I did it before. Just basically animating the current position on rail. I set it from 0 right to 1 from the start and end of my sequence. I might slow that down a little bit because I do still think it's a little bit fast. And then instead of enabling the or to change the orientation of my camera to the rail, I'm just animating the yaw, which is just the z-axis rotation. So now if we look at that playing out, we can start to see what that shot begins to look like, climbing up the stairs. And I'm basically trying to capture these moments where I'm like looking into these apartments. And you could see at certain points when I'm turning, and just generally the movement is quite fast. And so I'm just going to keep tweaking that. But essentially, this is more or less what I want in terms of being able to look inside some of these apartments as I go. Um, but like I said, this is just a block out. I'm fairly happy with that. The only thing I might consider adjusting is going to each of these keyframes and changing it from point 2 to say point 8. And what I could also do is change the type of um, keyframe from cubic to linear. And what this just does is it won't ramp up the speed of the movement. It'll just immediately, so in other words, it doesn't speed up and slow down at the end. It just is in a linear speed throughout the entire sequence. So now if we hit play, oh, what just happened? That is not right at all. Undo all of those things. So that's going to throw off everything. Ish. So I suppose I should have adjusted my time. So the way I might fix this instead is to stretch out my entire composition and make it a little bit longer. Let's see if I can do that. Let's go into the negative. So 720. So let's go minus 72. And let's set the start So I should have really shortened this movement before I started doing my camera rotations, because now if I change the timing, it's not going to sync up with um, it's not going to sync up with the actual position on rig rail. So I'm going to have to um, just going to have to tweak it because I still think the footage is too fast. So let's go back to the spiral. I'm going to change this to 0.2, and I want the last frame. I want this to actually end at 0.8. And then what I'm going to have to do is just move some of these around. What's this? Oh, I see. Let's start here. Oh, like I said, all of this is about practice. So each time I screw something up and redo it, um, in theory, I'm learning something new. I hope that's the case for you as well. Um, but hopefully the shot gets better each time I do it. And I am doing it at this point 3 times now. Um, but hopefully each time I do it, the scene is getting better and better. Back in my spline point. Pushing my camera into the wall. So let's try to adjust that. So here's this. And this. So let's get rid of this point. So we want this to be about 270. So let's set this to 270. And we actually want that to happen a little bit later. Let's just get rid of this. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. So we need to go from 270 to 180. So around here. Actually, let's just go to this end here and set this to 359. That should do it for us. That's this one. Let's just add another point there. Call this 180 as well. Up, up. Get a longer shot of that. That's it. Okay. Hopefully that'll be that. It's a bit dizzying. Let's try to this is so annoying. So fourth time's the charm, I guess. Just gonna scrub these backwards. Slightly. Going backwards. Might actually be a little bit better. Here. And I'm gonna make this linear. Let's see how that works. Okay, it's horrible. Horrible. I'm gonna just keep tweaking this until I get it right. But you don't have to suffer through it with me. So let me pause the video and I'll set this up and then show you what I did. Okay, I think I'm finally at a good place. I've adjusted the speed and simplified the rotation so that it's a little bit simpler, just kind of more sweeping without these sudden jerky movements. And so this will just be the background, just provide the background of my B-roll, as I was calling it earlier, of the character just moving up the stairs and seeing into some of these apartments and seeing like the individual characteristics that they have. Okay. So now that's like my B-roll, as I was saying. So I'm just going to drop this down behind here. And let's see what the whole thing looks like. Child climbing up. It's a weird spot to start. So I want to take maybe from this point and bring it to here. So let's try this. Like this starting where so maybe I need to show at this point some more of her climbing the steps to reinforce that. So I might need to insert a scene here. Maybe it's similar to this one. Where we're going to contrast this with shoes climbing the steps, which we can shoot outside of the outside of the model itself. So 209 is where maybe that shot will start. And I want that to maybe go up to about 224. Set to 295. So that's about 3.5 seconds. You see that and that. And then maybe here we do the knockdown. And then we'll have the toy falling. Clonk, 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 and then something happens at the end, or I'll just stop it there. Okay, so then I may want to do basically use the same assets I was using for the step climbing. Let's see. Right? So I'm going to grab let's grab our character. Rotate her by about 90 degrees here. Right? And I want to have her climbing these steps. Let's just get rid of these things for now. They actually don't look very good. I'll replace them with something else. And these steps are actually quite a little bit off. Maybe it's okay though. All right, so I'm going to create another sequence. Let's go to our sequencer folder. Create another level sequence. Let's call it climb. Go to our sequencer. I'm going to add a shot. I'm going to set this to climb. And we wanted this roughly from 209 maybe 206. Let's just set this before we forget to 24 frames per second. And then we wanted this to go until 295. Somewhere around there. So I'm just gonna shorten that clip and go in here and set my end frame. All right, so here we have our code. I'm going to add a camera. It could be my same camera here. I already have a camera here, so I'm just going to go ahead and add this camera to my sequence. I'm going to change the lens settings on this camera to something that makes a little bit more sense. And I also want to add my character. So let's add my character, and let's add the animation of walking upstairs. And we can see her feet are just move this to the start. The foot positioning here is good. So I'm going to set my character's transform. I'm going to add a location key. And as she climbs, we're going to see that her steps are actually a little bit higher. So I want to reposition her a touch. And then I'm going to set another location key there. And I'm going to set another location key here. I'm going to copy this key, paste it. I can just alt and drag. I can also alt and drag this. Um, so I need to fill a little bit more footage here. So I'm actually going to have to stretch out the animation. Right, you can see it just kind of jumps down. This is the annoying thing about the stair climbing animation, but we'll have to deal with that. 36, so let's go to 37. And I need to change her position from there to there, basically. So I need to move her location and take something like that. And set a location key. So now she can keep going. There might be a little glitch when yeah, there's like a little blinky. I wonder if I move this one frame forward, if that helps. Nope. There's a little blinking that's happening, but that might be okay. At least for the blockout scene. I'll have to figure out how to fix that for later. And I may want to just stop my cutscene at 74. So let's establish our end. Actually, there. Just gonna do that. So now if we go back to our master sequence, I'm actually just gonna shorten this a touch. So here's the child climbing up. It's like that we're still going. Just turn the corner. Yeah. Okay. I'll need to add the teddy bear. But more importantly, I do want to change certain things about my camera. So with my camera highlighted, I don't need to pilot the camera. I am looking at the camera here. I am going to change some settings. One is the focal length. So where's our lens? So I want this to be a telephoto lens. And I might pull this back quite a ways. Maybe that's too much. So let's try 85, but we're getting much closer. The other thing I could do is get even closer still. Start there. And what I'm considering doing is changing the location of the camera. Set a key. And then repositioning. There. There. And set a key. Okay, and then let's change the focus setting and let's focus on her. Or to duplicate this bear and connect it to my character. Actually, I'm going to do the left hand socket. And then I'm going to set position here. Let's focus here. So maybe the bear. Let's go to the camera location. I actually want to switch this a little bit. So maybe start there. Something like that. Right. Our character is so let's so I need a relocation key here. They're actually even holding the teddy bear. But that doesn't matter. You can't really see that. Well, you can kind of see this here. So let's lift the teddy bear up a little bit higher. So here's Teddy playing with the kid. Okay, I think that's good. So now let's look at our master sequence again. There she goes, she's climbing stairs. We're seeing that she's seeing apartments, she's climbing up, seeing more apartments, and she's climbing. In fact, as soon as this passes, do this. And she's going, she kicks the thing over. And this thing is going to fall down those stairs. Okay. All right. So we can see this character in this position here. So if we go into our climb cutscene, what I want to do is I can make this. How do I do that? I can make her a spawned actor so that she only appears when it's time for her to shine. So I do think convert to spawnable. Right? So basically, I'm going to set a key here to spawn, and she's not spawned. need to attach teddy bear as well. Make the teddy bear let's just add the teddy bear. Can I bind this to my character? Left hand. Okay, now where's that teddy bear? That teddy bear is not moving with her. What's that? How do I get this thing? I can't see what's going on. I mean, it's my teddy bear. I attached it. Okay. Let's delete this teddy bear. Just find this. Let's add the sequence. Let's attach to this character. This disappears. This is the part I don't understand. It's over here. Vulnerable as well. They both disappear. Good. I don't quite know how I ended up getting it to work, but all that matters is that it does work. Okay, so now we have our character climbing with a bear, climbing, seeing the apartment. So one thing I might want to do is change the camera looking into these apartments. And one, I want to see more of the apartments. So I might need to move it closer and use a wider angle. So let's just give that a try. I don't know if that's actually going to work or not. So let's find the camera spiral. Let's focus to it. So this is camera. Let's push in here. So now this one's just farther away though. So I can try to push in um, This is already a let's try 50. This is one way of doing it. Maybe it's needs to be a 35. Custom. It's a little bit bigger. That's pretty good. I can get some stuff in there. And the same notes. Yeah, I might have to use a different camera for this shot, or just reposition it. And maybe it just ends with a toy falling. And then I'll do another scene of the tower on the floor or something like that. Okay, so I think that's kind of it for my cinematic block out. So let's try looking at it one more time. Let's go to the master sequence. Go all the way to the end. So here's child walking up. Seeing inside. I like that lens better. Climbing the stairs. Seeing inside. There was one other thing I wanted to do. Let's pull this back. I did want to shoot a scene where one of the capsules is being added. So if we look at my storyboard, this frame here is maybe something like this, right? I want to literally take this, except I want to animate it so that maybe this rotates and we see the other side of it, which has the 4 bolts and the door. And I actually want to put a person in that door waving to the girl as she walks by. Okay, so I'm essentially going to emulate this view, and I'll probably block out the sides here, and this just implies the structural opening. And the camera might pan as well, a little more slowly in this direction. Okay, so I need an asset, 3D asset of this of the capsule itself, which I'll then rotate. I can use the blockout versions that I have, or I keep getting these weird errors. It's very unnerving. This is how I lost my footage last time. So save these things. I'm going to just not save these auto save maps. Okay, I think that's good. So now I can close. I don't want to save those things, but everything else should be saved, I hope. In the meantime, let's look for a I did save something. I think in the box drive, maybe. I have some assets. Is this the one with the individual capsules? Yeah. So here I have two outside elements. So I'm just going to bring this into Rhino and then just use one of them. So here, let's just delete these things. Save. This is unrelated to our work. I'm going to open up a new instance of Rhino. And I'm probably not going to use Datasmith for this because it's just a single asset, and I'll probably just make it into an FBX. So I am going to want to make sure that my units are centimeters. And let's just drag this in and import the file. Okay. So strange orientation, I see. So let's rotate 3D. Let's make this shaded. Here's our asset. So I really don't need any of this stuff. I'm going to. It actually has bathrooms and stuff modeled. I mean, I don't really need it. But if I wanted to use it, I could. So let's rotate this. I'm just basically orienting it so it's orthogonal. And then I'll move this. Let's set that point to our origin. So let's give our perspective another review. So, look at that. That's quite not a whole lot of detail, but more than enough. So let's check the distance on this, make sure that we're scaled properly. 79 centimeters. What is that? 790 millimeters. So I think this is probably accurate. Let's check the height of this door. So 2 meters. Yeah, so I think this is right. So what I can do is, remember, I'm trying to emulate this now. So I've got some cables, right? And maybe there's like a little rig thing and some little cables. And so what I may want to do is let's make a little box here. Do something like that. Maybe draw some. Let's do curve from objects. Duplicate edge. Let's delete that. Just gonna height these guys and do 2 centimeter pipe radius. That's too thick. So do that. And do 1. So do that. Draw it here. Let's scale. Pipe. It's a little bit of thickness. I want this to maybe be glass, or I could just get rid of it. That scale. See it? Just delete this here. These are sharper corners. If I wanted to get crazy, I can add this like tarp and model that, do like a cloth simulation. This model's not great because this curvature of like this filleted corner is really quite extreme. So I might, if I really am bothered by that, I'd redo it. But I don't think I need to, not for this purpose. Okay, so here's my model. I might set my origin to actually be here. because this is how I plan on rotating and moving it around anyway. And so let's go ahead and export this as an FBX file. Motion Builder FBX access or assets. And let's call this crane capsule. Crane cap. Sure. Okay, I think that's good. This already is a mesh. This is really for the pipe, so I don't care. That doesn't need to be detailed, so I kept that low. Let's go back to Unreal. Let's find our project. Don't need this first. That's good. All right, so everything is still saved, which is good. Let's turn on the camera view. So remember, it's now roughly at this point. I want to insert a new scene that shows the capsule coming into position. So that's 382. And maybe we can go all the way to potentially 483. So that's about 100 frames, it's about 4 seconds. Right, so let's go back to 382. Thereabouts. And I'm going to add another shot, but before I do that, I'm going to add another level sequencer, so cinematics level sequence. And let's call this my crane shot. And in my sequencer, I'm going to insert a shot. There is my crane shot. I'll shorten this. Bring this up. And you may see that these dudes organize their shots in this way. It's not carne, but I guess it's carne now. So here's my crane shot. I could incorporate it into one of these views, right? So for instance, I could remove one of these capsules and try to swap it out. Let's just explore that as an option. Let's uncheck that so I can move this viewport freely. So let's find our camera position here. Oh, look at this is turning into a mess. Hopefully you can see why I harp on organizing. But what we want to do is find this cement spiral. Okay, so here we are. So at this point in the film, kind of rotating. And we're passing this. I actually don't think it makes sense to try to choreograph this thing. This particular right? I actually feel like I should just set up my shot somewhere else. A, it'll be easier, and B, I don't think it's gonna look right in situ. Right, so let's add a cine camera. Rotate this roughly 90 degrees. We'll just have them all face the same direction. Let's just move this. I'm gonna change my camera settings. 16:9 DSLR. This, let's just start with 50 millimeters. And go from there. Here we might want some background information, buildings, context, or it could just be sky. For now, it'll be sky, or I might throw in some rectangles to imply buildings, but it's essentially the capsule being placed by a crane. So I need this asset, so I'm going to go into my content browser and bring that in. I guess I could put it in architecture. I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it my crane capsule. Just call it crane cap. And in this folder, I'm going to add this asset. So let's go and grab that crane cap. And I'm going to hit open. I don't want a collision. I think that's good. This is fine. What's going on? I feel like I'm missing. The tower itself. I don't know why that didn't export. I'm gonna select all this. I'm gonna delete. I don't know why this didn't come through. Let's try doing it again. Export selected. Main cap. Save. Yes. export NURBS objects as meshes only. Okay. Let's take a look at our asset here. Let's click on this. Okay, we're having some issues with normals. It's actually very annoying. Is it just on this outer surface? Can't quite tell. So let's explode this mesh. Okay. So let's hit cancel. Let's go to mesh repair tools. Let's try that. So now let's try exporting it. Let's see if that just fixed it. It's a little bit of wishful thinking, but who knows? Green cap. Yes. Okay. So let's look at the asset again. Did it change? May have made it worse. Can't tell. Let's undo that. And let's re-export. Just gonna see what it looks like in Unreal. Hit OK. Right? So, I mean, this is partly why my suggestion is always to just do the, just use boxes, right? I could have just done all of this with boxes, and it would have been fine. But no, I had to go and try to import these other assets. I mean, it does help with the visual, so do it if you can, I guess. But if you start running into problems like this, I wouldn't worry too much about this is so strange. This really is not importing. This mesh. Why is that? Okay, well, I don't want to waste any more time. I'm going to bring this, I'm going to group it. And so now I can manipulate this together. And what I'm going to do is just see if I can import the original asset in here. And import all. And see if these are, yeah, it looks like these are the individual assets. Let's drag this guy in here. Let's hit F to browse the asset. So here's my capsule. Here's the say I'm going to make this movable. And now I'm going to position this in a way that makes sense with what's annoying is my origin is somewhere strange. I think I might be able to reposition. Where's my widget? So let's just try to reposition this. I'm gonna rotate the axis, something like that. Position here. Position here. At this point, it would be easier for me to move this around. Right, something like that. And I'm gonna take my neck caps and just make it a child of one of these guys. So now if I grab this, they should all move together. Let's reposition this like so. Okay, I think that's good. You know, I can take this object and make it black. I think it's probably this. Let's just change this to black. Okay. Right, so now it's a little bit more visible. Okay. So now here's my view. Let's just pin this. And so I can position. Actually, let's move this over here. I'm gonna actually move my camera over. This back. Take this around. So I'm essentially trying to frame my shot. Like so. Right, so a little bit more naturalistic. It's like rotating, right? But at some point, it's gonna do that. So the way I'm gonna frame this shot is to also have some cubes. Either side of it. Basically, these cubes are just screens. In fact, I'm gonna not duplicate that until I've squished it a little bit. Something like that. Just make them both black. Maybe I'd use a rust color or something. Right, so here's my shot. I can add my sequencer. What did I say? 382. So let's go roughly there. Double click on this. I'm going to add my camera. Which camera is this? Let's select that. Add actor to sequence. Add my camera. There that is. This point. Here. Let's set this side by side. So here's my view. I'm going to change this to 24. And then I want to add this actor. Add this group. Oh man. So what I may want to do is, let's undo that. Pilot this. So here on the right side, we're seeing. What I may want to do is I'm going to add. I can just use a cube. And I can take this and make all of this a child of my cube 7. So let's take this. And I'm going to drag this down into my cube 7. Right. So now I'm just going to bring cube 7 into this. And so now I can change the transform. Right. So maybe I want to choreograph some moves now. So at the beginning, I'm going to set a key and I might do something like this. Let's do this. Let's not set that key there. Move this a little bit further out. Not so much that I can't see somewhere right there. Let's add transform. Oops. This to go back. This position. So from there to here, I'm going to bring this to about this position. Then from there here, what I do is change my rotation. So it's going like this, it's going like this, but here in my position, just to get closer and closer, closer, like so. Let's try the location there. So I'm going to do something like this. Maybe I want some more rotation here to add something like this. Then the guy starts waving at this point. So maybe that step here. I don't like this rotation. Maybe I don't like this rotation. Whoa, that just got weird. Okay. whatever, that's close enough. Um, so with this part, I almost wonder, anyway, we can tweak that later, right? So then she's walking. I feel like there needs to be a transition here, but you get the idea. So let's go back, play this. Here's a rough cut, very rough cut. Moving up, looking into the apartment. Maybe everyone's saying good morning, climbing the stairs, seeing more apartments, and then seeing this thing happening way too fast, so I'm going to slow it down. She's walking up, and the tower falls. Done. That's a wrap. Okay, so hopefully seeing this painful process is going to make your process a little less painful. And I look forward to seeing the progress. Okay, good luck. Don't sweat the small stuff. Let's get the big picture right. And yeah, I think it'll be fun to see where you guys are at on Wednesday. All right, bye bye.